for the month of May. In order to feel compassion, we absolutely, okay, you've got
Sorry,
yours.
it came off and the hook, I think it's down in my pants. I'll just hold it.
And so, inner peace comes in so many different ways. And sometimes we have these distractions from the world, when parts of the little... Okay, in order to feel compassion, in order to feel that willingness and that wanting to alleviate the suffering of others and ourselves, we need to first find inner peace. Because if we can't do it from that place of peace, it just isn't quite the same. It doesn't quite work. And there is that place of inner peace that resides within each of us. So I want to ask you, how well do you know your place of inner peace? Is it someplace that you visit often? Is it someplace that you maybe only experience occasionally when you're out in nature, or when you're doing a meditation, or when you're listening to beautiful, beautiful music? How well do you know that sacred, sweet, sweet place of inner peace within you? And what is inner peace anyway? What does it feel like? How can we consciously create it? How can we consciously go to that place of inner peace within us so that we can share it? How can we find inner peace in this world where there seems to be so much divisiveness, so much busyness? Have you noticed the busyness, folks? Yeah, so much busyness. And so that's what we're going to talk about this morning, inner peace. John Lennon sang, "Imagine all the people living in peace. You may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you will join us and the world will live as one." And the Dalai Lama, he said, "We can never obtain peace in the outer world until we make peace with ourselves." Until we make peace with ourselves. So, what is inner peace to you? How and where and when do you feel it or experience it? I know it's a different experience for each of us, but what takes you to that place of feeling the peace within you, the kind of peace that you can share? Of course, peace is the opposite of stress and anxiety. It's a state of consciousness that we can cultivate. We cultivate it with meditation and with prayer. It can be cultivated with yoga and Tai Chi and various other ways. So many ways for each of us to find that inner peace. And so important for each of us to find what works for us. Inner peace is a place of trust. It's a place of deep remembering that Spirit and I are one, that there's only one life, that the divine intelligence, that love, that oneness, that creativity that has created everything is right here in me and right here in each of you. Peace is feeling the serenity, even when things are not serene around you, because heaven knows, sometimes we really need the inner peace when things seem kind of crazy. Maya Angelou said, "Peace. It does not mean there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart." And I love this reading about inner peace. Unknown author. If you can start your day without caffeine, if you can always be cheerful, ignoring aches and pains, if you can resist complaining and boring people with your troubles, if you can eat the same food every day and be grateful for it, If you can understand when loved ones are too busy to give you time, if you can take criticism and blame without resentment, if you can face the world without lies and deceit, if you can conquer tension without medical help, if you can relax without liquor, if you can sleep without the aid of drugs, you are probably the family dog. Now, if anyone can do all of those things and have some secrets, talk to me afterwards, okay? Okay, so I'm going to use peace as an acronym to talk about how we can experience more inner peace. Oh, there's the family dog, yeah. Okay, the P in peace is for pause. In order to find that place of inner peace, we have to slow down, folks. We have to pause. And one of the things that I read in the mornings is Unity's Little Daily Word Book. It has great stuff. And this morning's, of course, it was just perfect, so I have to read part of it. Rather than allow, in the silence is the heading. Rather than allow my mind to be easily swayed by outer circumstances, I look beyond appearances to the truth of my being. I do this by turning within to a place of peace, the silence. To realize God, we must quiet our outer thoughts and enter into the stillness, peace, and harmony of spirit. In this conscious awareness of my higher power, I find the strength I seek, the love that sustains me, and the peace to soothe my soul in the silence. So it's so important for us to slow down, to make peace enough of a priority in our lives that we actually give it a little bit of time. Give peace a chance to catch up with us. From Carlos Santana, we hear, the most valuable possession you can own is an open heart. The most powerful weapon you can be is an instrument of peace. And those two certainly go together. So we need to pause, slow down, and give peace a chance. The first E in peace stands for envision. Imagine what it would be like to be completely at peace with yourself. To live in a family of peace, a community of peace, a nation of peace, a world of peace. As we envision that, we give that vision power. We let the universe know that that is what we are open to. Now envision this. Imagine your child or grandchild. Now imagine, or some loved young person, imagine now that they are grown and have a grandchild. And they're out walking with this grandchild. And the grandchild looks up and says, Grandma? Grandpa? What was war? Is that not the world we want to live in?
Oh, yes.
Where the grandchildren of our grandchildren and their grandchildren don't even remember what it was. The A in peace stands for Apply Spiritual Mind Principles. Now, we have some great teaching, some great principles in this teaching, and they actually work if we use them. Not so much if we don't. They're the laws of the universe that cannot be suspended any more than the law of gravity can be suspended. These are truths that we can take to the bank and live by. One of those laws is the law of unity. We are one with God, and at the deepest level, we are one with each other because of this life, this God life that flows through us. There is only one life, one presence, one power in all of everything. It moves in and through and around as everyone and everything, including each one of you in your unique and beautiful ways. As we remember our unity, as we remember our connection, we can absolutely move into that place of peace. The peace of knowing that the one life is always, always for us and never against us. Thomas Merton said, "We are not at peace with others because we are not at peace with ourselves. And we are not at peace with ourselves because we are not at peace with God." As we remember our oneness with the divine, inner peace and outer peace becomes much more likely for us. When we remember that unity, we certainly plant the seeds for peace. Another principle that we teach is that our thoughts are creative. I mean, have you heard it a zillion times? Thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Our thoughts create the experience that we have in our life again and again and again. The Buddha said, "Those who are free of resentful thoughts surely find peace." And Emmett Fox said in his little book, The Golden Key, "Stop thinking about difficulty, whatever it is, and think about God instead." Now, in this little book, The Golden Key, he says you can use this, that if you practice this, when you notice yourself thinking about a difficulty or something that you are open to help with, if you do this, he says, and many people have backed him up, thousands and thousands, do it for a month. Every time you run into a difficulty, stop thinking about the difficulty, whatever it is, and think about God. Now, I haven't done this for 30 days, but even the little bit that I have played with, it is powerful. It is powerful. So our thoughts are amazingly creative. If we think about lack and limitation, then sure enough, more of that shows up in our life. Whereas if we think about love and sharing, it can be almost magical the way those things just show up for us, seemingly out of nowhere, like magic. Our thoughts are so powerful. The C in peace stands for conscious choice. The choices we make in life are so vitally important. But with our choices and our actions, we show the universe what we're open to. We show the universe what we're planning on and what we are willing to accept. Our choices and our actions speak much louder than our words. A powerful choice that is always open to us is the choice to inhabit the present moment. I loved your reading about that. That was just absolutely perfect. Thank you. We can, in the present moment, we can let go of the past. We can breathe it out. We can absolutely trust that everything that has happened to bring us to this point in our life has been somehow for our highest good, or that we could use for our highest good, even if it doesn't seem like it. Because I know that there are very few of us that can look back and say, oh yes, every minute, that was certainly for my highest good. Right. Not quite. Right. Yeah. So you can let go of the past. You can let go of the future. You can surrender it to that all good of God, knowing that there is for you, that there is guidance, that there's motivation, that there's all that you could ever need to move through your path with peace that you feel inside and that you can share with those around you. You can breathe into this moment any moment that you choose. You can breathe into it, knowing that in this moment you are safe. In this moment, all is well. In this moment, you are fully loved and supported by the divine, whatever name you call it. And so, one of the ways that we can choose to be in the present moment and to take some silence that we talked about a little earlier is to take a peace break. To take a peace break. I mean, you might even want to set your timer. Maybe you've only got 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour, but take a peace break. First of all, you need to know that it can be prayer or meditation. It can be whatever works for you. But silence is important. It's important to get inside, to be able to be still. So allow yourself to turn off distractions or move away from distractions. I mean, even if it means going into the bathroom and putting earplugs in and closing the door to get a little bit of peace and quiet, which sometimes it takes in work situations or family situations. But allow yourself to turn off those distractions. And then once you've begun to quiet your mind, you can say our affirmation for the week. So let's say it once together. I recognize and easily access my inner peace. And so on this peace break, you might want to say that over and over and over a few times, and then imagine or visualize what that peace would sound like and feel like and look like within you. Maybe it's a flame. Maybe it's warmth or coolness. Maybe it's a special sound or a color. Maybe it's just a feeling of openness and possibility. But feel that. Just allow yourself to feel that peace. And then you can imagine, and this works, I do this a lot. Just imagine that you can breathe out the peace. You can also do it with joy or whatever else you want. Breathe it out so that it fills your path, so that every breath you take is a breath of peace. And every step you take is as if you were walking into peace-filled fairy dust that just flows up around you and just settles down around you to support you and go with you, whatever you do. And then after you've done that, after you've really sat with that place of peace, you can just simply put a big smile on your face and go on with your day because you have set the tone. And you know that you can always, always, always go back to that place of peace. And the more we do it, the more it becomes a habit, an easy place to go to. We create those neural pathways that make it just so much easier to go back to that place of peace once we have practiced. And remember what St. Francis of Assisi said. While you are proclaiming peace with your lips, be careful to have it even more fully in your heart. That's where we want the peace, not just on our lips, but in our hearts. And the last E in peace is for enjoy. I mean, once you have taken the time, once you have paused and gotten quiet, once you've envisioned peace, once you've applied the science of mind and spirit principles and made conscious choices, then your next step is simply to enjoy it. Peace and joy are inextricably connected. I mean, have you noticed? Yeah. When we're at peace, joy comes naturally. When we're at peace, it's easier to accept things and people as they are without trying to change them. It's easier to know that this is what is true right now and this is where I'm moving from, and I can do it in joy. I can do it in absolute joy. And of course, when we're feeling that inner peace, it's easier to face and overcome challenges. It's easier to deal with those things, the ups and downs that seem to come with being human, that we all get challenged by from time to time. And when we're in peace, it's easier to feel the joy of simple pleasures. Enjoying the beauty of the clouds moving across the blue sky. Enjoying the beauty of these brand new leaves that are getting bigger every day as they blow in the breeze. Feeling that breeze. Seeing it. Smelling the life. Absolutely things that bring you peace and joy. Maybe it's time to play with your child or your grandchild. Time to sit with your beloved in the quiet. Time to sit with a special friend or family member or a cherished pet. These are the little things in life that as we learn to appreciate, it will bring more peace, more joy, and it is absolutely reminding us that anytime we hear a little call or anything like that, we can just go to that place of peace. Now, and when you do that, when we nurture peace, our minds and our bodies are, they're in better shape. They're in better alignment. We can think better. We can move better. We can respond, more appropriately to whatever is happening. It's easier for us to withstand the stresses of life because can you believe it's going to be 2020 in just a few months? And with that comes, some stresses in life, it seems, for at least most of us. But when we cultivate inner peace, we're able to respond to what's going on around us. We're able to respond to the news, to what's going on in our world, with a place of knowing that we can do what's appropriate for us to do, but we don't need to get caught in it. We can always go back to that place of inner peace. And when we foster inner peace, we're so much more prepared to listen to the guidance that we have. For there is all around us all of the time guidance and whatever it is that we needed, support. And as we do that, Spirit gets to move through us in a more magnificent way, bringing more satisfaction into our lives and bringing more and more to be joyful about. Now, it takes some time to cultivate inner peace. Not a lot, but it definitely takes some time. It takes some effort. But it is so worth it. It makes the rest of our lives so much richer, so much more powerful, so much more alive. And so your homework, should you decide to accept it, is to give yourself some extra time this week for cultivating inner peace. Extra time for sitting in the silence. Extra time for being in nature. Extra time for whatever it is that takes you to that deep place of knowing that right here, right now, always and forever, I'm supported by divine love. And all is well. Are you up for that?
Yes.
Okay. And let's take that into prayer as practitioners stand with me in high consciousness. And so I am grateful for peace. I am grateful that because peace lives within us and all around us, we can access it. I'm grateful that we can slow down and take it into our lives, and then, oh my God, we can share it. For does our world not need more peace? I know that the peace within each one of us is like a flame that burns, like a flame that gives off its light, that just travels to the people around us, to the people in our community. In wider and wider circles, this light travels, surrounding the earth. I claim that not only do we feel peace, but there is a very energy of peace surrounding each one on this planet. All of those who are being challenged by war, by hunger, by displacement, by grief, by disappointment. All of those who have been challenged by anything, what I absolutely claim is that they are surrounded with the light of love, that this whole planet is surrounded with the light of love, and that this love, this peace, brings an intelligence to our leaders, the leaders of the world, helping them to make decisions that support life, support love, support equality, support the high living for every person alive. And so knowing that peace spreads like ripples when we throw a rock in the water, we just let our peace shine, let it ripple out, knowing that it is blessing far beyond what we can even imagine, that it is touching people's hearts, touching people's lives, and making a difference in this world. And so I'm grateful for knowing this. I'm grateful that the law says yes, that is one of those immutable laws, that what we claim, what we know, what we are willing to work for is possible and is happening. And so I let this go. I let it be. And I invite all of those of you who want to claim this with me to say with me, and so it is.